That's the first one.
Us.
It's recording, right? It's good. Cool. Alright guys, so in this next video in this series, I want to talk about dynamically framing on your partner. So it should be quite easy to understand now what a frame is. The challenging thing to do now is to be able to dynamically frame on your partner. So what that means is generally when you're escaping from the bottom, you're really focusing on two components. You're focusing on the frames you're creating with your arms and your torso and your back and your lats. And then you're focusing on your feet and hips being able to adjust position, okay? Your feet and hips adjust your position, your upper body sort of scaffold the position, right? That's sort of a way I want you to think about it. Now, what does that mean? That means that when we're starting to escape our side control bottom, it's not enough just to have your hand on your partner's hip, okay? So I'll show you right now. So in this situation here, if I just frame like this on my partner, he can roll over my hip with his hip. This is the conversation I had a while ago with a colored belt in regards to, oh, you should frame on your partner's hip with your. I swore I'm gonna have to. You know, this is the conversation I had with the colored belt in regards to he didn't like framing with his hand because he felt like he's gonna get wrist lock. Well, of course. Because the only thing stopping Jono putting his hips on me right now is my hand and a bit of my arm. So this is what I mean by having dynamic frames. What's going to happen now is if you look here, I'm set up to deal with something in front of my partner. If I change my hips now and turn my hips into my partner, Jono now tries to load this frame up. Jono can put all his weight through that frame. And it becomes very difficult for Jono to actually start flattening my arm out and flattening me back out. Okay? Of course, the challenge after sort of learning that your frame gets locked in and then your hips adjust in order to make your frame strong is then he starts creating different situations where I have to chase his hip positioning as he moves around me by inserting another frame, making sure my hips are backing up my frame, inserting another frame and backing up that frame with my hip positioning. Okay? So then that sort of hits another interesting point. So in the last video we talked about how to frame properly. Now we have to talk about how we reinforce that frame with hip positioning. Again, very simple sort of stay there. Concept is it's the foot connection to the ground gives you the ability to adjust your hip position. And again, it's something that I have to point out because when I'm coaching and when I'm doing sort of having conversations with colored belts that should know what the heck is going on, it's something so far overlooked because you're going down this rote learning rabbit hole where you want to learn legs and you want to learn this. This is what the Brazilian coach is trying to communicate to you when he says you need to understand basics and fundamentals and concepts. Okay? He doesn't mean you should do an armbar 1,000 times or a basic triangle 1,000 times. What he means is you need to do those things 1,000 times so you can have some accountability in yourself to pull back the curtains of jiu-jitsu and understand what is actually going on in those situations that make it work. Now, I understand that it's difficult as a white belt or a blue belt, purple belt, whatever, to find that accountability and to be that objective when it comes to learning jiu-jitsu, and that's why I want to point these things out to you, because it shouldn't be up to you to figure it out, you know, and it should be up to your coach, right? There's a difference between an instructor and a coach. An instructor will just spoon feed you info, whereas a coach is going to come along and be like, look, I'm going to make you understand what is going on in jiu-jitsu, okay? And this is what's happening right here. The thing to think about, and we've talked about this in videos, many videos now, is if my feet aren't connected to the ground, I can't adjust my hip positioning. If I can't adjust my hip positioning, my frames are no good. You know, my frames are good maybe in one situation, right? But if I can't adjust my hip positioning, my partner moves over here, I can't frame properly. So in order to back up my frames, my feet stay connected to the ground. And this is why you don't hip escape like this. Because in that situation, for that split second, your feet aren't connected to the ground, which means you can't adjust your hip position, which means you can't adjust your frame. Okay? The thing I'll just leave you with in this video before we start actually putting these two really core ideas into practice is People that say jiu-jitsu is like a chess match are so unbelievably wrong, it's not even funny. A chess match implies you get a turn, I get a turn, you get a turn, I get a turn. And if that was the case, jiu-jitsu would be called taekwondo or Krav Maga, and you'd be able to learn a series of escapes and a series of techniques, and you'll get your black belt in 2 years, and it would all work on everybody. The reason why jiu-jitsu is so crazy and so hard is because it's like a first-person shooter. Jiu-jitsu occurs on this long timeline, okay? And as your partner makes micro adjustments, you're having to make micro adjustments back, okay? And it's not necessarily one for one. They might do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things. And it's your job then to see contextually what's happening and make adjustments with your frame, with your hip position, with your feet, so that you can start dominating the leverage battle, which is in essence jiu-jitsu.